Hello everybody, my name is Petr Koutný. Today I'm going to show another exciting and brilliant chess game. Let's follow this game till end because you will see how David Navara playing with black pieces is going to beat after beautiful fight Ivan Cheparinov, who is playing with white pieces. We are following Spanish defense, and Spanish defense is something like a Rolls-Royce car. Everybody loves to drive or sit in a Rolls-Royce, but not everybody will drive Rolls-Royce, and that's exactly in a chess. Everybody knows that Spanish defense is a beautiful and amazing chess opening, but not everybody will play Spanish defense because it's a difficult opening. It's an opening with tons and tons of theory lines, and you have to learn lots of position, and of course not only learn but understand. And that's the reason why chess players knows that Spanish opening is beautiful, but it's difficult. And now let's follow this game because we will see that this opening is not only difficult but is exciting and beautiful. So Ivan Cheparinov is white and black is David Navara, and we are still in the middle of theory. Knight c3, rook e8, a4 and b4. It's good to play this move because black is happy to see how white's knight on c3 is going to be active and exchange on a d5, or is going to be passive and not active and not dangerous on e2. And Ivan Cheparinov decided to play knight e2 and David d5. Okay, David is active in the center because he believes that white pieces, say knight on e2, bishop on c1 and rook on a1, are not dangerous to him. It's good to open position when you have feeling that you have stronger pieces and your opponent's pieces are not active. And that's exactly this story because d5 is doing a good job to David Navara. Of course, after this exchange, knight g3, bishop f8 and bishop d2, a5 and bishop a2, David decided to sag a pawn on d5. Now, this pawn on d5 is well defended by a knight and by a rook. But maybe black's got feeling that he's a little bit more passive. And to be passive, that's dangerous in a chess because activity is the most important chess principle. Who is active is playing for victory, and David played knight d4. Okay, maybe interesting or not bad. It's to play a rook d8 first and then knight d4. But David is a super strong grandmaster with a huge amount of fantasy, and he played knight d4. Okay, to take on d4 is a first option, where I believe that after move g6, this position is level and black is fine, white is fine, but white it's not interesting to see how black is fine, and for this reason he took pawn on e5. That's a pawn, and it's a question if this pawn is for something or nothing. Where is a compensation for missing pawn? Black played queen d6 and knight f3. Okay, exchange on e1, and it's important to see that it's not good idea to take by a queen because there is fork on c2. Okay, white decided to take by a bishop, and I think that black is active. Okay, he is active for one e5 pawn, but knights are doing a good job. Knight on d4 and f4 are strong, and that's a dangerous position for white because white's rook on a1. It's not nearly playing the same chess game because it's still on the a1. This queen on d1 and bishop on e1 are not the most exciting white pieces in the game. They are playing or they are sitting on the first rank, but nothing else. So, okay, exchange makes sense, and now queen g4. Yes, still, it's not clear where is a black compensation. I'm sure that there is compensation, and if you're playing for compensation, it's good to remember that we have to play with all our pieces, and our question is going to this rook. What exactly is doing this rook? Why this rook is not on open file? And, of course, this move David played. So, he played a simple move, rook e8, knight f5, and now, okay, it's funny that this position is danger, not to white but to black, because here is hanging a queen, here is a check, and that's a threat, and of course then check to f7. So maybe black's king has a trouble, at least much more bigger than a white's king. But don't worry, h5, maybe this endgame or this variation will tell us that this position, it's maybe complicated, but should be level. You know, it's still a little bit more messy position, but there is no big material imbalance, and say, if this position is playing two strong players, this position is still open for the results, but it's a level. But here Cheparinov played knight h6, and I understand why he's playing this move. This move looks super strong because black's king has to decide where he is going, and for example to go to h8. That's a bad, because check on f5 and knight g5, and you know, this position is lost for white. For black, because black's king on h7 is super weak, and I don't know if there is any defense right now. So black has to be careful, and he is careful. He came to h7, check on f5, and now black's king took a knight on h6. That's a brave decision. That's a brave piece on h6, and now everything changed, because white has to prove his compensation, and white has to prove what he found it for a missing piece. Yes, of course, black's king is in a big troubles, and it's everything but not safe. And after bishop d2, g5 is an option, but that's a dangerous after h4, f6, and checkmate on h7 is a threat, c3, and yes, maybe still black should hold this position, but it's dangerous position, and because of this danger, I think that white's got a good compensation for missing piece. David played after bishop d2 stronger move. He played bishop d6, and now that's a surprise. He's going to sack a queen. He took on f2. That's maybe one of the most brilliant move I saw since last time, because that's a beautiful queen sack. And of course, the idea is check on e2, and even here it's not the best to take on g2, but the best is to take on d2. Okay, David took on g2, that's a check. Now he took on d2, and black is going to play mistake. The best answer here is to play move h4. Why? Because white has to save his life, and h4 is the best way how to make a draw. Okay, check on G2, on E2, and bishop F3. That is a check, check, and that's a draw. So that was the best way how to save this game, but it's hard. It's hard to see everything, and I'm not going to blame White that he missed this variation, because maybe he believed that he's winning. You know, we are watching this game now and we know all variations and we know the results and we know everything, but players are playing the best moves what they can, and maybe here both players are believing that they are playing for victory. But he played bishop g8, and this move is really scary because check on h7. Okay, that's a big move. What's the defense, or what's the black's answer? Check on g2, check on e2, and now bishop f3. Okay, if white is going to c1, that is a check, and this position is because of material won for black. So black has to be careful because here's a check, and now rook a2, check. Now to go to c1, that's a check on d3, check on f4, check on h1, check here, and here is a checkmate. Okay, that's another amazing variation, and for this reason white came to e1, but the same variation happened because black took and sacked a knight on d3, and once again another beautiful variation. Yes, we are at the end of this game because here white resigned it. Of course, white. Why? For example, if white is taking this knight by a pawn, there's a check and checkmate on h1. The same story. If white is taking by a queen, there's a check and checkmate. Not big different. Or if not a checkmate, big material advantage. So hopefully you enjoyed this game. It was a brilliant chess game of two really strong grandmasters, and we saw how Spanish defense is interesting opening, exciting opening, and it's sometimes unlucky that lots of players are not playing Spanish defense, because Spanish defense is something like Rolls Royce of the chess. So at the end of this video, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time and for every likes and follows. Hopefully I'm going to see you soon in our another YouTube chess video. Thank you. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye.